excitement is starting to build here at the Hungary ring as the lights are about to go green for today's qualifying session. We expect some cars out on track any moment now. I've got a feeling that Lewis Hamilton might dominate this weekend, especially considering his incredible track record round here.
He really loves this track, doesn't he? He's a four-time winner here, so if he can get on the front row of the grid, I think he has a wonderful chance to make it 5.
It's career mode time again. It's F1 2015 Max Verstappen career here. It's part 10 from the Hungary ring, also known as Magyar Nagydíj. So I'm sure quite a few of you Sprint Mode Championship fans. We're here on the back of another win last time out in Silverstone. A DNF for Hamilton means that the championship standing now means Hamilton leads from ourselves by just 2 points as we head into this final race before the summer shutdown. Can we possibly be looking at leading the championship as we pass through into the summer break? Surely not, but we're going to find out. Forecast is clear, as you'd expect, massive track temperature, so tyre wear is going to be an issue around here, but we need to make sure we get as close to the Mercedes as possible, as I think it might be a case of damage limitation with this kind of layout and track. I just don't think we're going to quite have the speed, but until we hit the track we won't know, so let's go and do that for qualifying and see where we can get for the grid for tomorrow's race. So exiting the final corner for our first flying lap. It's only a 23.6, which means we're on pole. Okay, I say it's only a 23.6. I don't know why I said only. I thought it was miles off. I thought we were looking. I thought it. Ah, there you go. Yep, ruined it. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Let's get back to the pits then to see what we can do for our next run. So, end of another lap, losing the back end out the final corner as we now cross the line with no improvement on our previous lap time. Or, no, was it? Oh, it might have been a slight improvement, but slightly slower in this final sector. But still, sitting in P6. So we really need to try and find some pace on our final run, but we just haven't got the pace, it looks like, this weekend out. And Hamilton currently sitting on pole, which again is not good. But we need to try and see what we can do for that final run at qualifying. So, final corner on our final qualifying run. Can we find an improvement to get ahead of Ricciardo on the grid tomorrow? Driving to the line, DRS open, here we go. And I think we may have just done enough to creep ahead of him, but we're still way off the Mercedes and the Ferraris as far as I can see. So it really does look like, unless something goes crazy with tyre wear tomorrow, it's just going to be damage limitation to Lewis Hamilton.
It's been a mighty qualifying performance from Mercedes today, with both cars on the front row for the race tomorrow.
Well, it's a great result for the team, and one that we were expecting from them. Tomorrow, they'll be expecting both cars on the podium if it all goes to plan.
So Hamilton on pole from Rosberg, then 2 Ferraris of Vettel and Raikkonen, and then ourselves fighting off the Red Bulls and the Williams, which is going to be a tough battle tomorrow. So the points are of course awarded tomorrow though, so I think we need to be aiming for a top 5, really needs to be our target, and hopefully maybe Rosberg or the Ferraris could make an upset in terms of Hamilton, but we know how good he is around here, except for 2015. Lol. But let's have a look, see what we can do for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Welcome to the Hungary ring here in Hungary, a track that opened back in 1986 and has witnessed some very memorable races. Let's hope we're here to see another classic today. We knew this was a track that suited the Mercedes well, but no one would have expected that Lewis Hamilton would have created such a gap to his rivals in qualifying. If he stays out of trouble and the car continues to perform, well, victory should surely be a formality.
There are a lot of variables that can cause a driver to be happy with the car one day to struggling with it the next. Track temperature, excessive tyre wear, or a change of fuel load can all affect the feel of a car. He'll definitely be hoping that when the race gets underway, he's got the same balance as he enjoyed in qualifying.
It's been a really disappointing season so far for Red Bull. They aren't getting the points that they believe the car is worthy of.
Red Bull have clearly suffered the most from the change of regulations. The car is still a good car, but they say the performance of their new hybrid power unit is letting them down. You can guarantee they're working hard with Renault to find a way to bridge the gap to the competition.
Indeed, and I imagine they're going to be our main rivals this time out. I got the Red Bulls and also the Williams as well. It's going to be difficult to see us moving forward from this position, but we hope to at least maintain it. There's like 2-stop, pretty formality, pretty formal. Seems a formality, 2-stop, there we go. So lap 11 and then possibly lap 23, maybe looking for an undercut if necessary. Obviously we'll see later on in the end of the first stint and the second stint. But for now it's time to head to the track and watch those red lights come on, and then as they go out we'll be underway. So we need to try and get a decent start. It's a massive run down to turn 1. Let's see what we can do. Car squirming off the line. Red Bull going through, the Williams coming through as well. Both Williams coming through as well. Going to look down the outside. Oh, there's massive contact with Ricciardo there. And I think he might have even got a touch from one of the Williams. Let's have a quick look there. He must have got a touch to get that sideways. Let's have a look. Here comes the Williams then. Oh, and it's his teammate, his own teammate, come flying up the inside of him and caused a crash. That is absolutely ridiculous. Kvyat almost causing disaster for the Red Bull team. But for now, we're down to P6. We've lost one position to Ricciardo off the line. We need to get that back as soon as we can if we have any hope of possibly staying with the front 4. So we've got a nice run out of the final corner. We've managed to stay with Ricciardo really well through the middle sector and the final sector. Now picking up the slipstream. No DRS available yet. But going up the inside into turn 1. Not great traction on the exit. I think Ricciardo is still next to us. Indeed he is. Around the outside of turn 2. Ricciardo comes back across, but we can't make the move stick. So we now come down the hill to turn 3 and up to turn 4. So Ricciardo holds on for the time being, but he's really dropping off now. So Ricciardo's got absolutely no pace at this point of the race. The good news for us means he's not going to get DRS off the Ferraris. We'll get DRS on him, so it should hopefully be a formality in terms of passing him, and hopefully the Williams won't have too much straight line speed to get even past us as well. So there we go, DRS open at the final corner. Ricciardo pulling away slightly, and we're really not gaining that much. Here we go, we have to go for a bit of a dive up the inside. There we go, that's the move done. Ricciardo holding off just about from Massa. Looks like there might have been a bit of contact. But that's us back up into our starting position of P5 at the start of lap 4. And you can see the Mercedes have absolutely gone, the Ferraris have absolutely gone. Unless tyre wear becomes a factor, this could be a defensive job. Interesting radio message. Looks like Vettel really struggling on his tyres, which is backing Raikkonen up. And we're actually now apparently gaining a little bit on the Ferraris. Are they running into massive tyre wear already? So let's have a look this time around. The gap was 3.2 if I'm not mistaken last time round. This time 2.6. We are indeed gaining on the Ferraris. Maybe it is game on for a podium, possibly. The gap now 1.8, so we're massively closing on the Ferraris. They've got real issues, at least Vettel has, because he's massively holding up Raikkonen, who can't seem to find a way past. And no team orders seem to be coming into play. There's a few swaps of position going on behind us, I believe. So are we going to be within DRS range of the Ferraris this time round? Yes, we are. That is absolutely ridiculous how much pace we've got over the Ferraris right now. They are massively struggling, and we need to take advantage of this now as Raikkonen now looks to go for a move on his teammate. They're still side by side. Raikkonen drops in behind, but again with DRS he might have another go into turn 2, but he doesn't. And now they've got us to worry about. You can see just how much more traction we've got out of these corners. Of course, we haven't got the straight line speed to match. As we've now got put up with the dirty air from the two Ferraris. Although with supreme traction and a much better line, into the chicane, through we go past Kimi Raikkonen. What an opportunistic move that was, as we almost lose the back end on the exit. Can we make swift work of Sebastian Vettel as well in the other Ferrari? So we've got just so much better traction at this point of the race, and he's even having to lift through there as Sebastian Vettel. That's incredible. What has happened to the Ferrari tyres? We just got so much more speed than the Ferraris. We've literally just out-dragged Vettel on the exit of the corner. We need to make sure we get a good exit here though, because otherwise his DRS is going to get him back past, but he just doesn't have the traction to make that a possibility. 5 seconds up the road is Mercedes. I'm wondering if there's any possible chance of an undercut here with fresh options. I wonder how much quicker they're going to be at this point of the race. As we've absolutely drifted our way through there. That was quite nice, but not particularly fast. We've just taken, even though our middle sector was absolutely awful, we've just taken a second out of the two Mercedes in the middle sector on that lap alone. They're both staying out. I'm going to go for the undercut here and see if we can possibly make this work for us. Let's go into the pits. We come for option tyres. Looks like we've got a Ferrari possibly coming in as well, which I imagine is going to be Vettel, the state he was going in. But not only are both Mercedes staying out, with them being side by side or next to each other on the track, either they're both going to pit and at least one's going to be held up, or another one's going to have to go another lap after this one and lose even more time. This is a real opportunity for us. I'm quite pleased that we've made this move. We need to make sure we get nice clean air. There's a massive field of cars coming down. No, that's not good. We've got Ericsson on our outside. That's not what we need. We need to make swift work of these guys. As we get the news that Rosberg, I think I had that right, Rosberg just made a move for first, as we're now side by side with Ericsson. Going around the outside of him through turn 3. Now almost trying to run the outside of Alonso there. But we're now going up the inside of the chicane. We know that they've got no performance on the brakes or the traction. And now Hulkenberg, we're going to go around the outside of him through here. That's opportunistic. Oh, nice words. I can't speak and talk, but I'm trying to push as much as I can because there's a real opportunity and I need to make sure this happens. And it looks like both Mercedes, I think I just had a glance at the minimap, both Mercedes are into the pit lane. There's a lot of the cars up ahead move out the way as well. That's good for us. Here we go, looks like one of the Mercedes coming down to the end of the pit lane now. Are we going to be able to get them on the run to turn 1? We are, it's Hamilton and we're through. That, if I'm not mistaken, is a net P1 here at Hungary. Rosberg must have been held in the pit lane, I presume, as he would have been behind Hamilton, I think, as they came in. This is absolutely mega stuff. Come on, we need to make sure we get bus button on this straight if possible. We've got the straight line speed, here we go. And indeed, through we go. And hopefully he might hold up Hamilton a bit if we're careful so we can make the most, get as much of a gap as possible at this point of the race. This race turning on its head, it really did look like qualifying a second off the Mercedes, that it was going to be damage limitation, but we now find ourselves, as far as I'm concerned, in a net P1 of this race. So Bottas and Kvyat into the pits, which means we do indeed take the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Unbelievable. That's not what I like to see though. 1.3 seconds faster on that lap was Hamilton. I can only hope that the tyre wear is going to be a factor again come the second half of this stint, because on pure pace the Mercedes is absolutely rampant. Here we go. There he is. He's going to have DRS active. We're going to go rich mixture, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough. We're going to go defensive. He's on the outside. Oh, and he's overtaking us off the track, if I don't mind stating. Thanks very much, game. But he's going to get away with it. So Hamilton overtakes us off the track and takes the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now, will tyre wear become a factor again? That's the only way we're going to get back at him. And that's off the back of our fastest lap of the race for us personally. Not good signs at this point of the race. Normally the AI were coming back to us. But at the moment, doesn't look to be going that way. Of course, with us doing one lap less on the first stint, our tyres are now one lap older than the AI, at least 1 lap. To some, like Hamilton, is actually 2. And they say that the tyre wear that was very prominent in the first stint for the AI just seems non-existent at this point. So Hamilton's just rampaging away from us. Vettel is now pretty much within 2 seconds. And I do believe 19 runners. I think Rosberg was on the back of Vettel, and I think he is our retirement. So it's another failure for Mercedes. This time it's Rosberg, again, just like in Austria. Last time out it was Hamilton, this time out it's Rosberg's turn again. That's ridiculous. So here is what happens to Rosberg. He's coming up behind Vettel now, and then inexplicably he just needs to pull over to the left, no engine smoke, and that's it. Just disappears and job done. For some reason, I'm not sure, it didn't look like an engine failure, but another failure of sorts again for a Mercedes though. And that's what happened to Rosberg. That was why he did not finish this race. So engineer wants me to pit this lap, but I think I want to try and do 1 more lap to try and make the prime tyre stint just that 1 lap less, and make it so the end of the race is 1 lap less on worn primes. That is going to be a killer compared to worn options. Vettel's pitted though. That's not what I wanted to see. He's going for the undercut. Oh, that's not good. Right, come on then, let's go. So as you can see, the rear tyres are completely gone. Every other tyre, also known as the front tyres, also gone. That extra lap was a killer. I hope that is not going to ruin our chances of second place compared to Vettel going for that undercut. Hamilton pits and comes out way ahead of us already. Right, let's have a look. In we come then for the prime tyres. As long as we can get out ahead of Vettel, that's the main thing. So Raikkonen has Vettel continued? Oh, change gear, you fucking game. God damn it. Right, and there is Vettel. He's stuck behind Kvyat. So Bottas is the one that stayed out. Hamilton comes out ahead of us, and we need to make sure that we stay ahead of Kvyat whilst we warm up these prime tyres. I presume Kvyat's got a pit again. Oh my lord, the understeer is real. As Vettel now shaping up a move on Kvyat. Oh, there's so much understeer. Vettel going around the... No, I have not just seen that, surely. I need to see a replay of that. Has Vettel actually just gone around the outside of Kvyat at turn 4? Here he comes then. So he picks up the switch from us, and he... Well... So he's not only bashed Kvyat out the way, but then overtaken him off the track as well. That's quite funny to watch. Oh my lord. Thanks, game. Nope, yep, good. Right, recovered it. Okay, now it's a straight race between ourselves and Sebastian Vettel for this second step of the podium behind Lewis Hamilton. Presumably, that's what it's going to turn out to be. As we're going to give the engine everything it's got. Bottas in the pit, so we take P2 back again. Here comes Vettel. Not going to make the same mistake as last time. Closing that door on the exit. He'll get DRS again, but he hasn't got the drive out of the corner to make that move into turn 2. Although if I slide too wide, he'll be coming up the inside, but no, we hold that for this time round, but I don't know if I can keep that up for another 11 many times, or how many times it's going to be before the end of the race. Oh, and here comes Vettel. Really with some serious straight line speed. Just about managing to hold him off. And again, he hasn't got the drive out of turn 1, but he came flying out. So the previous lap, he didn't really get that close to us, and he looked about the same distance behind that time round, but he must have put the engine up into rich or something, because he came flying at me that time. Did not expect that. But we hold him off for another lap, and we're a couple of laps closer now again to the finish. So here comes Vettel again. And again, it's another defensive job on the inside. As long as we keep doing that, we should be okay for P2. that's as close as it's going to get, I think. Feel one of us ends up upside down or without any wheels. He came from absolutely nowhere. That's why I wasn't talking during that move into turn 1. I just didn't think he was going to carry that much speed. And as I've gone defensive, he's come flying up my inside. A bit of a change of plan from Vettel there. Caught me a bit unaware. Originally I was looking for the undercut, which is why I swerved over to the left. But then realised he'd parked it on the exit. So the best strategy then, plant the power, drive straight back around the outside of him. Boy, is this going to be a task to keep P2. There he comes again. Going back down the outside again. And we slide it through on the exit again, defending and cutting off that option that he has to drive around the outside of us like Hamilton. I'm a bit gutted the way we lost that position to Hamilton. No doubt he would have obviously passed us again at a later point. I say it was a bit weak defending. I didn't quite expect him to hold it right around the outside, then drive off the circuit to complete the move. I guess I've now learned from that mistake. Now fighting against Vettel, using it to my advantage. I couldn't care less about Hamilton, to be honest, engineer, because I've got a rampaging Vettel coming up right behind me. So because our rear tyres are gone now, that traction job out of turn 2, or sorry, turn 1, really is becoming a mind game as to guessing which way Vettel's going to go, whether he's going to try and stick around the outside, cut back for the undercut, and knowing whether we have to run out wide or hold it on the apex to prevent the run through on the exit to go underneath us. But the tyres really not holding on well, even though they're a lap fresher than Vettel's. So as we now start the final lap of the race, from the replay cameras on board Sebastian Vettel running in 3rd place, ourselves just ahead, lap 35 received, covering the inside, making our intentions clear. Vettel with the superior starting speed coming diving down the outside on the older tyres, but seem to have better tyre wear for some strange reason. If you think back to the first stint of the race and the end of the first stint and the tyre wear and how that went, and then compare it to what's going on now, it's quite alarming. As you can see, we're struggling with the tyre wear now. Vettel obviously just having to try and stay with us to see if there's going to be any exploit to get past. Any moment we lock up, we run wide, anything he's got to try and capitalise on. But we've got to just make sure we keep it on the black stuff, keep it on the racing line. A small lock up there, but nothing too serious. We're driving all the right lines to make sure on the exit of the corners we're pulling away, which means he's not getting a chance into a braking zone. A little bit deep into the chicane, bit wobbly on the exit. But again, Vettel can't stay close enough to make anything happen. As we now come towards the final sector of the final lap. A little bit wide, missing the apex. Vettel carrying good corner speed, but again he's just not quite close enough to look at a dive bomb into the 3rd to last corner. Back end getting away from him slightly there as we slide the back end through the penultimate corner, but that allows us to get a good exit. And as we come to the final corner, coming back to our own screen, rounded the final corner to take P2 behind Lewis Hamilton. So that is us heading into the summer break with 6 top 2 finishes on the trot, and we're now it's still within 10 points of the championship lead. We would have taken that at the start of the season. P2 hit Hungary after a well-earned 18 points. We couldn't touch Hamilton today. Got lucky, I think, with Rosberg's retirement and a sterling drive to keep Vettel behind for that final stint in the race. Champagne spraying yet again from Max Verstappen, a regular occurrence at this point in the season. Hopefully it'll be something that continues in the second part of the season after the summer break. But here's going to be the rundown of the classifications and the opinions of the Hungarian Grand Prix.
It's Lewis Hamilton, whose Mercedes was just too strong for the opposition. It's another win for the British driver.
What a weekend it's been, and one that's been thoroughly enjoyable.
Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.
So the gap in the end, considering Hamilton only ever took us at the start of, when was it? So when did he actually ever take us? It was sort of halfway through the race, wasn't it? Before halfway through. That gap then increased to 24.5 seconds. Mental performance from the Mercedes there. We couldn't touch that, but second place is ours, holding off Sebastian Vettel in the end, just about. Bottas coming home in 4th, ahead of Raikkonen. And there you go, Nico Rosberg yet again with another DNF. But that has been the Hungarian Grand Prix, the Magyar Nagydíj of 2015. It's P2 this time out, which means the championship standings heading into the summer break is on the screen now. 172 points to 163, Hamilton ahead of ourselves. 9 points of difference and a big gap back to an interesting battle there between Rosberg, Raikkonen and Vettel. Just 3 points covering those three drivers. But up top is where all the eyes are. 9 points the difference. Constructors wise, Mercedes still well ahead of Ferrari, and then ourselves still pretty comfortably ahead of Williams, which is what we like to see. But next time out it's going to be Spa, the iconic Belgium circuit there. So I hope to see you then, but for now, it's goodbye.